I joined a new server, and I'm not gonna explain what this server is about because someone has already done a better job at that. Take it away, Duds.
Alright, welcome to Let's Create Together. This is most of our first introductions to Create, all except for the Walrus.
Woohoo!
He's been cheating.
Yep.
Classic
For
Walrus.
over a year now.
But yeah, so the idea of the server is for us to play very much as a community, learn modded Minecraft together, and kind of have fun. This is going to be an extremely laid-back server, no like massive hardcore gameplay or anything like that. Let's just have fun and learn.
Yeah, so since I apparently cheated, I took the role of the teacher for this server. So I made them do all the early bits of Create to get familiarized with the basic mechanics of the mod. But Duds was in a bit of a rush to escape the early game, so we built a machine to dig a pit all the way down to bedrock, and then we recycled it into a mining machine to get all the resources. It did the trick, but there was still some room for improvement. Only problem was, we couldn't go any further with the usual Create stuff without brass. And that involved going to the Nether and finding a fortress, which is always a fantastic experience early game. So I coached Flaz on how to break obsidian without a diamond pick, watched him make our first porthole, and we ventured into the Nether. Into a very, very hostile Nether. Things didn't go too well, and we decided to postpone this adventure to a later time. Luckily, Duds and Carl found a fortress and almost managed to make a path that reached it. Again, a very hostile Nether. So I ended up teaming with Duds to try and finish the path. After many scares and some very well placed walls, we finally succeeded in getting into the fortress and capturing a few blazes. And with that, we had a blaze burner and we could finally make some brass. So after all that, I think it's time I start working on my own stuff a little bit. On this server, we're all basing around a cute little lake with a village somehow floating on it. We're also gonna have a train running around the lake and connecting everyone together eventually. But before any of that, I need to pick a spot of my own. So my plans for this server are pretty predictable for those that know me well. I've been playing Create in single player for a while now, so the only thing I never really got to do is using the mechanics of Create to make minigames. And that is going to be our big project for today. But before any of that can happen, I have to pick a spot for my base, and Carl has claimed that corner there, Plaz is over there, this is Duds, and that corner is gonna be for community stuff like farms and mines and things like that. So I decided to pick this face here, this cliff face, because I want to make a big door eventually, not today, but yeah, I want to make a big door and make it animated with Create stuff, and it's gonna be easier if I have a flat surface to put it. Otherwise I would have had to like pick a corner like here or maybe that one there, and it would have made things a lot more complicated. So yeah. Let's go and take a look at what we have available to us. So the cave is opened up there at the top of the mountain, so that's great because we can put the door like in front here, and like connecting that bottom part to the top would be a nice challenge for a kind of somewhat diagonal elevator. I don't know how we could manage that, but we'll figure something out, I'm sure of that. So let's head up. And up here is a, what's that called? Cherry blossom biome, which I'm not sure if I'll keep or not, we'll see. And back there, yeah, good. We have, I wasn't sure if it was gonna be like more mountains, but it's just a circular mountain range here, so that's great. So we have a lot of open space to make some big dangerous mini-games, so that is great. And for today's minigame, we're gonna make an obstacle course using a few of the more basic Create mechanics, such as using some mechanical bearings like that and attaching some plows on it and when we start it, it starts going around like that. It's tilling some of the dirt, but fun thing is if we stand in the right spot, we get launched. But let's look at a replay of what just happened. So my victim players are gonna have to use that kind of mechanic to move around the place and jump on other stuff. That's one of the mechanics we're gonna be using. Let's break this bit down. So another very fun thing about mechanical bearings is that if we put a second bearing in the contraption that it is moving, we can make something stabilized. So we can make like platforms. Just gonna make it that big. That will rotate, that will move around. So if we... No, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's start it. Okay, it's going super fast now for no good reason. Let me slow that down. Also... Oh, that's not good. Okay, so I messed up a lot of stuff just now. So give me a second. I need to do a bit of adjustments. Oh, the way I just put that. Just one block, just that one, perfect. And now we need to slow that thing down a bit. Okay, that's good. Take two. There we go. So like so, we can have some platforms that are gonna spin around the place, and we're gonna have to jump from platform to platform. And by we, I mean again, my victim players. So that should be fun as well, and just like that we can also make some platforms that will spin horizontally, so we can jump on them like so. And oh yeah, like there's an obstacle in the way or something that you gotta avoid and jump on another platform. So I think that's gonna be some fun mechanics for that game. So now let's start assembling everything together. And just like that, we have the first section of the game done. So let's take a look at that thing in action. So if I flick this lever here, everything starts spinning. It looks so cool. So it's all gonna start with that little leg here spinning around, and the players are gonna be standing there, so they're gonna get kicked into the game. And well, for the rest, we're gonna go in free cam mode. It's gonna be a bit easier to see, but yeah, they're gonna get kicked into this little carousel here. They need to land basically anywhere on the carousel. Like you can land on the frame and walk to one of the platforms. It makes things a bit more manageable. For the rest of this first section, it's quite easy, so they just jump from one platform to the other onto this vertical carousel where they can set their spawn. They should set their spawn because yeah, you don't want to do that bit over and over again when you've done it once. And then they can jump on this little staircase, and they will end up here on, well, in section number 2. So that's the basic principle of section 2. We're not gonna have things that spin, we're gonna have things that move back and forth. So how it works to make it go back and forth is we have these redstone contacts, and they get powered when they meet each other, and they power these wireless redstone thingies, which are linked to a circuit in front. We can go take a look at it. Actually, I'm gonna go not in free cam mode, but that's just that little circuit. So that thing here, just when it's powered, it switches state, so it turns on, turns off whenever it's powered, and that here just adds delay. And yeah, that's just that's how we make this thing go back and forth like that. It's super cool, super simple, but we don't just need a mechanism that goes back and forth for this section. We need to turn it into an actual mini game. So let's put some platform on top of that. And I think that should do the trick. It's gonna be quite fun seeing them trying to find their way. It's almost a maze at this point. But yeah, it's gonna be cool seeing them trying to find their way, trying not to get bumped off the whole thing. It's gonna be great. And it's gonna end over here, so we have another spawn point before going into the third section. So there's gonna be 4 sections in total, and the last 2 I'm gonna just build them in a time lapse because I don't want to just do jump cuts. That's a bit boring. So let's roll that time lapse. And with that, the minigame is complete. So let's take a look at that whole thing from the skies. So we have this first little carousel here. So we're starting on this platform. Then this one's coming to the front, so we're gonna jump on it, go around, and in the middle we can jump on that one, and then we're gonna be able to jump on that other little carousel here. So this one's spinning around like that, and you're gonna have to find a way to jump on the other platform, and then jump on that. And as a bonus, just because I am that annoying, I put this little bar here, so once you are on that second carousel here, the one with the holes on the platforms, you can't stay there forever and wait for the perfect timing. You need to commit and to, yeah, jump on that last platform here. That's the last spawn point. I said last platform, but last spawn point. And this one's leading into the last section of the game. So it's kind of like the second one, but it's vertical instead, so you have to jump from one side to the other to find a way to the top, all while avoiding that little obstacle. It's nothing too big, but yeah, there's this bar moving across the gap where you can jump, so it adds just a bit of a challenge, I think. And once you have made your way to the top, you can get your reward. Yeah, I didn't have any idea for rewards. We're kind of sharing resources here, so yeah, I didn't really have anything to give. So now it's time to reach out to my friends and test the whole thing, but sadly we will not have time to record their session before I can release this video, so it's gonna have to be pushed to the other one. But I promise in the next video, in the next episode, we're gonna have a highlight reel of their performances. It's gonna be great, and I strongly suggest you go out and subscribe to everyone and watch their perspective when they play the game. It's gonna be super fun to watch, I am sure of it. So on that note, thank you so much for watching and have a fantastic day. Bye bye.